Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the biggest selling game on the Switch. A whopping 47 million copies have been sold, meaning 43% of Switch owners have a copy. Despite great games like Tears of the Kingdom and Pikmin 4 coming out, it still manages to outsell them. It is an absolute beast in terms of sales. Still, I've been playing this game for 9 years. That's right, I bought it at launch on Wii U in 2014, then I bought the DLC for it, then I bought it again for the Switch in 2017, and now I've spent even more money on DLC. In total, I've spent around $200 on this one game. While the amount of content it has now since launch is astounding, pretty much triple what it originally came with, the last 50% of it, namely the Booster Course Pass, or BCP, has been a disappointment for me and is misleading to consumers. Don't get me wrong, I love Mario Kart and I've played every single entry, and with my playtimes on Wii U and Switch combined, I've probably clocked about 500 hours of playtime in Mario Kart 8. So naturally, I'm going to buy DLC for it, and I'm sure 47 million other people have considered or have already bought it. So if I'm buying DLC, I expect that DLC's quality to match that of the base game, which this Booster Course Pass just doesn't. Despite this, it still has a lot of value and is still a fun time, but it is far from excellent. In this review, I'll talk about the highs and lows of the Booster Course Pass, and you'll know why this Mario Kart stan was left a little disappointed. You've probably already made up your mind about getting it, so this will be more of a discussion than a formal review, but a review nonetheless. Fire up your engines and let's get started. The Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass doubles the amount of tracks of the base game, bringing it to a grand total of 96 tracks. It also adds several new playable characters. I'll come back to the characters later, but first I want to talk about the tracks. These tracks are a mix of new tracks and classic tracks. Sounds perfect, right? It does, until you realize these are all ported from the mobile game Mario Kart Tour. I'm not the kind of person who likes mobile games much, so Mario Kart Tour amused me for all of an hour before I gave up, frustrated by its gacha gimmicks and premium currency and all that other mobile game crap. Tour is already a corruption of what makes Mario Kart so good, and while I won't talk about why I hate Tour here, I was deflated to hear Tour elements would make the jump to 8 Deluxe. The first thing I noticed, and most people noticed, is the difference in visual quality between base game tracks and BCP tracks. While some effort has been made to enhance the visuals from Tour to 8, it is absolutely not good enough in most cases. Some courses look good, like Merry Mountain and Vancouver Velocity, but most of them look bland and lifeless. While base game tracks have detailed grassy areas, BCP tracks just have a solid green texture. Base game tracks have a variety of trees, the BCP trees just look like plastic toys. And this is just two examples, the same could be said for most textures and assets. The BCP introduces courses based on real-world cities. What a fantastic idea! I especially love Berlin Byways, as it has the Berlin Wall, confirming my long-held fan theory that communism is canon in the Mario universe. Anyway, the concept is undercut by them being Tour ports. They should look better than they do, with colours being a little too primary and assets looking blocky and unfinished. Not only that, but the city courses have this weird scale issue going on. Well, Mario Kart 8 has always had this weird scale issue, with background characters being significantly larger than racers, like these giant Yoshis for example. I've never really liked or understood that, but it never really bothered me until now. I think because these city courses are representing the real world, the weird scale makes them look even more off. Especially these giant benches and vending machines. Assets like these make the scale issue that much more pronounced. If the dev's intention was for these to be mega-sized versions of real cities, then great. But I can't sense that intention here. What I do sense is that these were ported in a hurry from Tour, and that the devs were too lazy or too busy to readjust assets to a scale that looks better. What we are left with looks off, and the city courses are all the more disappointing because of it. I love the idea of city courses, but visually they just don't land. And these needed to be workshopped more to look better presented, and to visually slot in naturally between other courses. On a bit more of a positive note, these city courses do introduce a new gimmick into Mario Kart. Lap variations. This is in order to combine multiple courses that take place in the same city from Tour into one mega course. Lap 1 will take one path through the city, and laps 2 and 3 take different paths again. While this was intended to be a solution to a problem, it actually ends up as one of the best new twists the DLC adds. It gives courses a dynamic element we've not seen before, and it is genuinely fun getting a different track layout per track. Even more surprising was the addition of this gimmick to classic courses. For example, the 64 course Calamari Desert now off forces you onto the train track in the second lap, something we all did anyway back in the day, Peach Gardens makes you do the final lap in reverse. While the implementation of this gimmick late into the game's lifespan is inelegant, it's a fun gimmick nonetheless. It makes me wish some of the base game courses played like this, as it is a genuinely fun part of the gameplay. And more on the course front, this game introduces the original tour courses like Ninja Hideaway, Sky High Sundae, and Squeaky Clean Sprint into mainline Mario Kart. While I love the theming, a ninja palace, floating ice creams in the sky, and a giant bathroom including a toilet, the execution is disappointing. Like the ported classic courses or city courses, textures are bland and assets are lazy. When you compare these to the base game courses, the difference in quality is astounding. Look at Ribbon Road. This was original DLC for the Wii U version, and it looks as good and as beautiful as preceding tracks. Jump forward almost a decade and look at Sky High Sundae. These look like they're from different games. And look at these rails in Sky High Sundae. They're actually anti-gravity boosters, but nothing in their design signals that to the player. Compared to pre-existing tracks, it looks unfinished, as does Ninja Hideaway. For some reason we have Shy Guys in the role of ninjas, but we already have a ninja enemy, Ninjies. As there are no ninjas in the base game, they couldn't be bothered creating a new asset and just recycled Shy Guys from other courses. And this applies to most of the BCP courses. A lot of the levels just sprinkle in Koopa paratroopers and Toads randomly. It really looks like a simple copy-paste job. And finally there's the course selection. While I'm happy to see some bangers like DK Mountain, Waluigi Pinball, and Rosalina's Ice World, far too many of them are bland circuit or road courses like Toad Circuit, Shroom Ridge, and Moonview Highway. These are homogeneous and blur together with each other and with other courses that are already in the game. When I play Shroom Ridge, I barely even register what I'm playing. It feels like Mario Kart by committee, soulless, bland, unengaging. DLC implies we will get new experiences, where these add nothing. These courses feel like downgrades of others we can already play. It's obvious they were chosen because they were quick and easy to port over. Why these made the cut over bangers like 64's Banshee Boardwalk or Double Dash's Dino Dino Jungle, I'll never understand. Disappointing courses aside, they did add some new playable characters. It's great to see Kamek and Pauline make their console Mario Kart debut, and Diddy Kong, Funky Kong, and P.T. Piranha are more than welcome returns. You can never have too many characters, and I'm glad to see more. Still, I doubt many people out there wanted Wiggler or Peachette for this, especially in favor of fan favorites Dixie Kong or Nabbit, who were already included in Tour. I think this DLC just needed Dixie and Nabbit to feel truly complete, as 3 of the 4 popular Kongs are already here, and Nabbit is experiencing a resurgence in popularity thanks to his appearance in Mario Wonder. While I don't really care how Nintendo markets their games, from a marketing perspective, why was Peachette chosen over Nabbit? Peachette was a one-off created for the port of the Wii U New Super Mario Bros., while Nabbit is front and center of the new Mario game that just released a couple of weeks ago. Makes no sense. Well, it's Nintendo's loss. Maybe we'll see him in Mario Kart 9. And that brings me to my next point, the MIA Mario Kart 9. Considering the BCP, as well as the announcement that service for Tour is finishing, what does this mean for the future of Mario Kart? What can we glean from all of this? Honestly, I can't understand why Tour content was hastily ported to a decade-old game. As I mentioned, courses based on real-life cities is a fantastic idea, yet the execution sucks because they are potato Tour quality. Same goes for the gimmick of lap variation. A fun concept introduced at the last minute. And then there's the imperfect character selection. Some characters are welcome, some shouldn't have made the cut, and some are just MIA. I would have preferred all of these ideas to have been saved for a new Mario Kart game. As a Mario Kart fan and consumer, these are all hastily cobbled together ideas that diminish Mario Kart 8 as a whole. All of these ideas, all of the good points of the BCP should have been saved for Mario Kart 9. And not only saved, but polished and refined to a point that is better than Mario Kart 8. Not worse. If you ask people, do you want double the tracks in Mario Kart 8 but they're half the quality? Or a new Mario Kart that is better than Mario Kart 8? I think most people would choose the latter. That's what I want, and I hope that's what you want. Choco Mountain was one of my favorite courses in Mario Kart 64, and I would have been happy to have waited for a blown-up version that adds a new twist, rather than this inert, uninspired version. So, what can we expect from Mario Kart 9? Considering everything I've discussed here, I have no idea. Will it be a Mario Kart Ultimate Ultimate that expands on 8 and brings back every track and character? Will it be something entirely new? I can't even guess, and the BCP has ruined my hype for it. I would have liked to have experienced city courses and lap variations fresh, in the highest quality possible. If tour courses are added to 9 and finally rendered in high quality, it will not be enough for me, as I've already paid for and experienced their inferior versions. Whatever is next for Mario Kart has got to be better than what's on display in the Booster Course Pass. The fact that resources were spent on making this subpar DLC and not allocated to Mario Kart 9 does not bode well. And as Mario Kart Deluxe is the most successful game on the Switch, a great number of its owners have already spent money on the DLC or on the Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pass just for it. The money we spent had better go into creating the best Mario Kart we've seen yet, otherwise we will have invested into one of Nintendo's biggest grifts. So, thanks for watching until the end. How about you Wait! Silly me. I realize I haven't even spoken about the music. That's probably the only consistent element from base game to BCP, as it's every bit as good. Longtime viewers of this channel know how important video game music is to me, so at least Nintendo delivered on that front. Like this track from Sydney Sprint. And they've added a music player, so that's a nice plus too. Anyway, how about you guys? What did you think of the Booster Course Pass? What are your hopes for Mario Kart 9? Please let me know in the comments below and I'll reply to you. And for more game reviews like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. As always, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you next time.